When developing software with Python, a basic approach is to install Python on your machine. Install all your required libraries via the terminal and write all of the source code. This works is fine for simple Python scripting project. To implement complex software development project, it is required a Python interpreter, Python library, an API, or software development kit. Often, you will be working with multiple files, multiple packages, dependencies, and as well as your source code. As a result, you will need to isolate your Python development environment for that particular project. This isolated environment is known as virtual environment. In this tutorial, I'd like to present a clear explanation about virtual environment and how can you implement on your Python project. For example, in your local machine, you have installed Python 3.5.9. This Python version 3.5.9 is a global version for your computer. As you know that Python has thousands of third-party libraries such as scikit-learn, matplotlib, pandas, keras, flask, seaborn, numpy, django, web2py, bottle, falcon, cherrypy, scipy, scikit-image, and so on. You have installed any one library as you want. I would like to call it Global Third-Party Library. Now you have created a Python project application A by the Python version 3.5.9, and imagine in your local machine you have installed Python 3.5.9. To implement this application A, you need to import some third-party library such as numpy version 1.18.1, scipy version 1.9.1. You can import this third-party library numpy and scipy from the globally installed third-party library. But problem is that over the time being, Python, numpy and scipy version can be changed. So, application A source code can be interrupted if you update Python, numpy and scipy. Consider another scenario. You have created another Python project, application B, by the Python version 3.7.10. In your local machine, installed Python version is 3.5.9 and need to import third-party library such as numpy version 1.23.2, TensorFlow version 2.9.0. Here, you cannot import globally installed numpy third-party library because of version mismatch. But it can be import globally installed TensorFlow third-party library as both version is same. To solve those type of problem, you can create an isolated environment for each application A and application B, whereas each application inside should have own Python interpreter, library and scripts, so that if you can update Python global version, then it would not be affected either application A or application B. This isolated environment for each application is known as virtual environment. According to the Python's official documentation says, a virtual environment is a Python environment such that the Python interpreter, libraries and scripts installed into it are isolated from those installation in other virtual environment. And by default, any libraries installed in a system Python, that is to say, on which is installed as a part of your operating system. Python virtual environment give you the ability to isolate your Python development projects from your system installed Python and other Python environments. This give you full control of your project and make it easily reproducible. Now, time to implement the virtual environment for your Python project. Here, I would like to know you that Python Virtual Environment Manager, either venv or virtualenv. Each module is the perfect way to create and manage isolated virtual environments. venv is included in the Python standard library and requires no additional installation, whereas virtualenv is included in the Python standard library and some others additional library installation. Open CMD to your project folder. Write Python to check the Python version, and here my Python version is 3.10.6. Also, write a simple Python code to check it's works fine. Now exit to return the Python environment. Write Python --version to check the Python version individually. pip -V to check the pip version. Here my pip version is 22.2.2. Python -m pip list to check the list of packages with the version currently installed. Now I would like to install virtualenv pip package. So write pip install virtualenv. As already I have installed it, so it is showing requirements already satisfied. To create virtual environment by virtualenv, Python -m virtualenv name of virtual environment. Run command Python -m virtualenv myenv. It will create a myenv virtual environment directory to your project folder. If you check out the script folder, then you can see the Python standard library and some others additional library has been installed. To active this virtual environment, go to myenv/script. Write active.bat to active this virtual environment. You can see myenv write myenv/script deactive.batch to deactive and exit from this myenv virtual environment. Now go back to the root project directory and delete the myenv directory for try to another way. Virtual environment by venv. Python -m venv name of virtual environment. Run command Python -m venv myenv. it will create a MyEnv virtual environment directory to your project folder. If you check out the script folder, then you can see only Python standard library has been installed and no other additional library is not being installed. To active this virtual environment, go to myenv/script. Write active.batch to active this virtual environment. You can see myenv virtual environment has been activated. Go to myenv/script deactive.batch to deactive and exit from this myenv virtual environment. Requirements.txt. After installing your required libraries, you can view all installed libraries by using piplist. Python-m piplist. You can generate a text file listing all your project dependency by running the code below. Pip phrase greater than requirement.txt. This will create a requirements file which contains a simple list of all the packages in the current environment and their respective versions. Later, if you need to recreate the environment, it will be easier for different developer to install the same packages using same versions. Pip install -r requirements.txt. This can help you to ensure consistency across installation, deployments, and developers. I hope you have got a clear concept about the Python virtual environment. Thank you for watching.